backing music was used illegally.
That ExP was remarkable, unremarkable. He made the album to lift himself up and pull him out of the quagmire. Ain't we all, man? Ain't we all, brother?
I went on a stag do to London the other year.
Very special guest, ExP from Flame Griller, the West Yorkshire rap crew. He's a top bloke. Buy everything he does.
The WYcast is made possible by people going on the XP homepage, www.exp.uk, and buying my albums on vinyl and CD and getting merch as well. So big thanks to everyone who has, and if you enjoy these podcasts, please consider helping out by going and buying some. Welcome to Series 3 of the WYcast. I had to rap one. Don't look at me like that. I'm XP, producer and I rap. Leads the wires where I hung up my hi-hat. And I did decide that the scene needs a push. There's so many dope artists who don't speak enough. My wife got me a Zoom H2.
Cheers, love.
So I roam West Yorkshire where the scenery's lush and talk to those involved in the hip-hop scene and what made them turn to rap when they were pissed off teens. Is it just to help them let off steam, or are they trying to live off it, graft endlessly and get some green? Either way, it's sick to be making music in dub-Y and reconnect the community with good vibes. Armed with a Zoom recorder, GoPro plus mics, I set up outside and meet people like Huddersfield, multi-time world beatbox champion Ball-Zee. If you don't know about Ball-Zee, you've been living in a rock, or you just don't watch the beatbox scene at all, which is fair enough. But also not fair enough, because the guy is unreal, has won everything there is to win. And this is a weird episode because it's the first one I've ever kind of filmed on location. Me and my wife went up to Edinburgh Fringe, where we go every year for a chill. And the Beatbox Collective, which consists of 4 members, one of which is Ball-Zee, perform there every year pretty much. Missed them last year, but this year I hollered Ball-Zee, he sorted me out, and then we did a podcast afterwards. So it's a swift one as well, a bit quicker than my usual podcast, partially because I was kind of aware that his boys were chilling, and he was good enough to like get us tickets, talk to me afterwards, and then you know what I mean? If everyone's chilling after a gig, the last thing I want to do is have to talk to some dickhead going, oh, when were you born? Oh, what's your name? Oh, why ain't called me? But he was good enough to do that, so he's a legend, man. But yeah, we zipped through it, but I think we got all the important detail down. And I just can't tell you what a nice guy he is, never mind the fact that he is the best beatboxer in the world multiple times, and he represents dub-Y. What more could you need? All right, enjoy. Ball-Zee.
Yes.
He's in the fucking house.
Here I am.
How are you doing, man?
I'm fantastic, mate.
Bro,
how are you?
I'm all right. I'm so good, man. We're here at the Edinburgh Fringe, and this is my first one outside of West Yorkshire that I've been able to do.
Oh, mate.
Because you literally got me tickets to your goddamn sold-out show.
I know.
Right behind us, man.
Exactly, mate.
And you smashed the hell out of it, and it's not even your first time in a Fringe. How many Fringes have you done so far?
Well, we actually was working this out the other day. This is my 10th Fringe.
10th
And this is the first one that I'm not doing the full month with another show. So we usually always do the Beatbox Collective here in that venue behind us, but we'll do like a week or two, a run, and I'll be with another show that does the full month. So sometimes it's like 2 shows a day for half of the month and then 1 for the rest.
Man.
And if you times that by... so I'm not doing another show this year, but I have for all the past 9.
Previous ones.
So that would be about 600 Fringe shows or something like that.
That is next
and that's
level.
Not
You're
even
a
the
veteran.
little I think I can say I am now, yeah. I first did it in the Purple Cow 12 years ago.
The underbelly.
The underbelly, yeah, with a show straight in with a show called Vocal Orchestra.
Nice.
And then I did a show called Gobsmacked, which was like an a cappella thing.
Yeah.
And then the Collective, and then I was doing 360, which is like a hip hop vibe circus. So instead of a juggler, you've got a basketball freestyler. Instead of a unicycle, there's a freestyle BMXer, and I just do all the music for that. So yeah, I'm officially a Fringe veteran.
You're the guy, man. You're West Yorkshire's representative in the Fringe right now, man.
Yeah,
Fully represented. And bro, we go way back, because I first met you when you were beatboxing in Huddersfield, because you're a Huddersfield lad originally.
Yeah, man.
And I feel like the first time we ever met was Bar 120, I'm going to say.
It probably was.
Mega Make Some Fucking Noise Mouth. You was running, what was the night called at Bar 120?
That's what I was going to ask you. Can you guess?
Break, what the fuck was it called at 120?
Because there's a couple that it could have been. I think I know what it was.
Break.
What do we do? What do we do?
Beatboxing.
Beats
and Pieces.
There you go.
Yes, I got there, man. Thank you for helping me on the way.
Yeah,
Beats and Pieces, and that was a crazy hip hop night that used to go on back there. You used to get all sorts of people. First time I ever saw Shedmen up there.
Yeah.
That was like 06, and I swear you guys were doing your thing. So what was your birth year, bro? When were you born?
88.
88.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what's your route? How do you get into beatboxing? What, are you just making noise out the womb as amazing as that? Or
Kind of, pretty much. Not beatboxing in terms of what that actually means, but I was always making sound effects as a kid. I always remember like imitating the tills in like the shop when I buy my penny sweets.
So if there's a noise, or if you walk in, because I do that, you walk into a shop and it's like boop boop. Did you always end up being that kid who was like repeating
all
that?
the time. I thought I was over the top with it, and then I met Rupert from the Beatbox Collective, and I've seen him shut down Burger King with his. He can do like this thing where he goes, but it's like 4 octaves higher.
And the perfect chips need to come out.
Yeah, and the guys are like, the fryer's not turning off. Shut the place down. But yeah, it was just sort of that. And then when I was about 14.
So school. Sorry, let me just go back. You must have in school then. You must have been the guy. That with all the kids, even in primary school, like, make that noise, do that, or was it? Could you replicate noises even then, or when's the?
I would definitely give it a go, but I didn't like step into that role fully, like a young Michael Winslow from Police Academy vibe. Yeah. I would just kind of dabble in with the sounds here and there.
And then 14, sorry, you said.
And then, sorry?
You said where you got to 14.
And then, we got to 14, and I was. The only thing close to like actual beatboxing I'd seen is Michael Winslow from Police Academy.
A legend.
And he was mainly doing sound effects and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just started making beats with my mouth, like really basic. It was literally like. And I've got a brother who's 5 years older, and he's a really sick MC, spoken word.
What's his name? Do we know?
He used to go by Uncalled Witness, and he was in a group called Calliste. And he still writes, he still does a bit, but they're not performing live as much now. But yeah, he was a massive inspiration to me, always has been, still is. And he heard me doing these like, but he cottoned on to something. He thought he must be all right at this, and then he heard Killer Keller. And this is back in the days of LimeWire.
Yeah.
He downloaded a little 1 minute Killer Keller freestyle, which probably took about 4 days to download, which was 3 megabytes. And it was Killer Keller doing back then, which was still a legendary sick freestyle. And when I heard that, I'd been going for like 2 or 3 months. Yeah. And that was like, oh my God, it's a thing.
So you've just been doing it on a random.
Yeah, like the only reference I had was Michael Winslow.
Right.
I'd never heard of Razel, never heard of Kenny Mohammed.
And this is 02, you were 14, so this is 2002, first time you hear that.
Quick maths.
Been doing the maths,
Yeah. And from that moment, I was just hooked.
You were on it.
I was 14, and I just started the first level up, so I'm moving on a bit quicker.
Yeah, please.
But just to give a bit of reference to that, the first level up I did, I learned the snare, which is, and I just replaced that into my already shit beats, and it made them okay. So it went from to.
And immediately you can tell the difference. Yeah.
And then I was just hooked. And still from that point, it took me like a year or two of practicing and listening to other beatboxers. I thought it was just a thing. And then when YouTube started getting a bit more popular, saw a suggested video one day, World Beatbox Champs, and I was like, what?
This happens?
And then from there I was just all in.
Just been knowledge, from there on.
Yeah, I knew that I wanted to make it. I didn't know how, but I knew that was what I was going to do.
So what came first then? You sort of getting involved in competitions, or you like going to hip hop nights? Because you definitely used to perform in Huddersfield as a young'un, right? When you must have been fucking young. 16, 17 when you were jumping up that.
Yeah, man, I remember getting gigs at like the Faversham with my group.
New Bohemia?
So when I was about 16, I joined a group which was from Huddersfield. Shout out to the Urban Elements.
Okay.
And that had the Shedmen in. So do you know about this?
I don't think I do. So Imranimal and Adverse and
and DJ
Illas was.
It was Illas, but he wasn't Illas It was a wild group. It was like the Avengers of like the Huddersfield crew.
Damn.
So we had me, my brother. Loads of beatboxers. One was called Chronix, Equation, JFX, all from Huddersfield.
Wow.
And then the rappers were my brother, Imran, Adverse, and then DJ Rushworth. That was it. And I think that was it. And then we'd started doing gigs around. And I remember I couldn't go and do the gigs. We'd get bookings at this place called Rhythms and Indigo in Huddersfield.
Right.
And I just couldn't get in. So I had to fake my birth certificate and stuff. And managed to do a couple of gigs as a 16-year-old in these clubs. Like,
nice. And what did you
dope.
have a set? What was it like? You had to do a 45 set, and it was.
It was a perfect balance between absolute messy freestyle beatboxing and like a couple of like actual routines and tracks that were done, because we were all mad young. We were all just getting our like just falling in love with the art form and stuff, and trying to make a crew. And of course, we call it the Urban Element. So
yeah.
that was a massive time for me to.
How did Urban Element? What happened to Urban Elements? Because right now that's still a supergroup.
Yeah, man.
And I didn't know there was that many
It just kind
beatboxers.
of fizzled out because we all just got older and people got jobs, I guess, and started doing the solo projects and things like that. I can't actually remember how it came to an end, but we were a thing for about a year or two.
Yeah.
I remember it was a really sick time, man. Like as a 16, 17, 18-year-old.
Must have seen some right gigs in your time, man.
Even just, all the people in the group. I just remember I was 16 and I'm just looking up to all these sick rappers and beatboxers. And
did you ever fancy rapping yourself? Did you ever give that a go?
A little bit. I really like writing, so I'm really into lyrics, and I've been into all the. I'm a massive fan of Jest, so when I heard Jest's Falling Down album, and my brother who put me onto all that stuff, I just fell in love with writing and wordplay, but never really. Honestly, never really had the confidence fully to rap. Just
no
with,
way.
Just
600 Fringe shows under your belt and never had the confidence to rap.
Back
at the
then,
start.
now I don't mind, but the beatboxers just took over, and I do spit some bars in the show for some of the collective bits here and there, and some of the battle routines that we've built as the collective. I'll spit. I'm not scared to do it anymore.
Nice.
But I just didn't back then give it my all.
Yeah.
Also because beatboxing was just so.
Problem was you were too sick at one thing already.
Mate,
this guy's unbelievable. You're not going to go, spit some bars actually, instead of doing that incredible beatboxing.
That's also it. When you go into places like Beats and Pieces and there's an open mic and you've got guys like Flash and yourself and everyone jumping up, I was there I'll just beatbox. I'll just stick to beatboxing. People seem to like that.
Amazing, man. Just talk to me about your relationship with Megamouth, because my understanding of you, the first time I ever met you was as a duo. And it was you and Megamouth doing beatbox together, and it seemed like you had a routine even then, sort of thing. What was do you meet him? Is he a Huddersfield lad himself?
He's a Huddersfield lad, and the story of me and Mega is he was originally first called Hotbox.
Nice.
And I met him virtually on a website called humanbeatbox.com, which back then, again, this is...
That's so sick.
Yeah, when I got into beatboxing properly, when I found out it was a thing, then I started searching for other videos, other championships, other forums, and I found a forum called humanbeatbox.com.
Mental.
And this was before Instagram, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. So the only connection you had, apart from the beatboxers in Huddersfield, your hometown, was on that forum.
Amazing.
And I saw this dude called Hotbox, and it said Huddersfield under his name. I was like, what?
Don't
so
even
I
know
hit him
you.
up. Yeah, so we connected a little bit there on humanbeatbox.com, and then about a year later, I went to Huddersfield Tech to study music, and he was on the exact same course.
Just by fluke?
And then I was like, you Hotbox? And he's like,
shit.
Megamouth now. And
Nice.
I was like, so dope.
Wow.
And then, me and him we were just at college every day, probably not doing the theory that we should, and chilling in the studios, making beats. You know what? You say, did I ever rap? Me and Mega have a track where we both spit a verse on, which we recorded in college when we were 17.
Whose beat? Mega's beat, I'm guessing.
I can't remember. I think it might have been. I think, honestly,
Mega's got it.
Mega's got it
Has
somewhere.
he got it? Yeah, I might have to
it.
try and get that off him at some point. That's not
remember.
available on streaming though, I'm guessing.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Would you want it to be?
I don't know. I've actually been really interested. I think Mega played it me about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, that's a blast from the past. But me and Mega, we went to college together, so we just ended up obviously beatboxing together all the time, and then with the local hip hop nights, would just be like, let's go down there and spit some beats. And it probably started, I haven't got the best memory in that sense, but I'm pretty certain it would have started as a freestyle thing. Yeah. And then, we'd do a freestyle together and be like, that bit was sick. And then next day at college, we'd practice that bit and then we'd slowly just piece together these routines. And then we got to know each other really well on a musical sense. So I'd do the beat, he'd switch to the bass, and then I'd switch back to the bass and he'd take the beat. And we had a really good chemistry. And me and him, that was, again, I think of those as the golden days, those beats and pieces times. And
cut your teeth in the first performances and the first collaborative beatboxing experience,
absolutely,
I guess.
Man.
Apart from that. Man, amazing. So that was an era just creeping up towards the WY Cypher when WY was coming on a lot more, and I think you were still in Huddersfield. You were probably just back end of college at that point, maybe in whatever the fuck that was, 2010-ish,
I think
11.
I left college 2007, 8.
Oh, okay, but you stayed around in Huddersfield. Did you stay around in WY a bit then?
I was in Huddersfield until 2012 or something, and then I moved to London. But I was always back and forth. So
were things starting to pick up then? Because I saw you at the Beats and Pieces, and then I knew you were about a bit, and then we got you through for the Cypher one time when you blew everyone's fucking mind while you did a couple of Cyphers straight to camera, which were unbelievable, freestyles as well, which were quality. And then the next I heard of you, right, This is fast forwarding too far, but I nearly lost my shit because my missus is well into her a cappella and her harmony stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we were chilling watching Gareth Malone and his TV show, and he's working with this crew, and he's working with that, and he's working with this group of old people, and the old people haven't got the funk, they haven't got the movement, man, and they needed, and he was like, well, I'm going to bring in this beatboxer to help with you, and in walks this motherfucker to help some old dudes beatbox for their a cappella, and I was like, it's fucking Ball-Zee, it's Ball-Zee. Mate, how did you get from doing bits and pieces with Megamouth up to like being Gareth Malone's go-to beatboxer?
Was
that loads of shows? Were you just like throwing yourself at shows at that point before?
Yeah, so like back in those days with the beats and pieces stuff, any mic I would just be like, get me on it. Like that was my vibe. So that's how I got into it in terms of like getting my foot in the door. It'd be like open mics I'd go to.
Wow.
I'd find any hip hop nights and go to with Mega or whatever, just trying to get out there. And then I got into battle. So then I found out about the UK champs. And there was like Northern Heats and stuff. Now it's all online for the eliminations, and then everyone goes to London for the final battle.
Big like that now, yeah.
Back then it was like the Northern Heat, the Scotland Heat, the Ireland Heat.
There'd be a venue that you turn up to kind of thing.
A lot of the times it was Stylus in Leeds for the Northern Heats.
Yep.
One time I went to one in Liverpool as well. But yeah, then you'd go down to the Londons, and I won the champs a few times. That definitely helped like get my name out there.
So yeah, you've totally fucking raked over that, bro. You won the champs a few times.
Right,
so you won the Heat.
I'll
and then went
say
to
it
London.
properly.
Please tell me it properly.
So I went entered the heats of the UK champs in Leeds, won that, got invited down to the finals in London, went down there and won that in 2011,
Sick.
And then defended that championship again in 2012 and won that, and then defended it again in 2013, and also in 2012 I won two of the biggest international battles called Emperor of the Mic and Grand Beatbox Battle.
Yeah.
So in terms of battling accolades, 2011 to 13 was a really good time for me. I won the champs 3 times, 2 of the biggest international battles in the world, and then in 2015 we, the Beatbox Collective, won the World Championships in Berlin.
Mental.
So
how long are the Beatbox Collective? Because they're the crew that I've just seen, and you got tickets to. Thank you very much at the Fringe.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely murdered it to a sold-out show. It's galling as a rapper to see that many people queuing up for that shit. It's just feel like, oh my god, Ball-Zee's killing this. When did the Beatbox Collective hook up?
We hooked up. We've been a thing for well over 10 years, and that started in a very organic way at a festival called Shambhala. You know Shambhala Festival?
Yeah.
We'd all like battled each. So me and Hobbit have battled in the final of the UK champs a few times.
As like the final just ended up in the final.
Just ended up
again.
me versus him once,
Nice.
and like this is before the collective really.
Mad.
I think it was. And yeah, it's like everyone's battled each other almost at least once. And then we got to a point where we just thought in fact, we were at Shambhala doing the festival, and everyone had solo gigs, so there ended up being about 14 beatboxers there separately. Some in a little crew of 3, one solo guy, another solo, someone in beatboxing for a rap crew. And then the organizer of the festival said, why don't you guys just, at the end, on the last night, all get together on the main stage and just do like a massive beatbox orchestra performance.
Carnage.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it was. It was carnage because we were all young. We didn't really,
Everyone's doing the bottom line. yeah. Battling each
Someone's
other.
doing hip hop and reggae and dubstep at the same time with 4 bass lines, and and then that was we didn't really know it at the time. That was the birth of the collective. So we did shows like that. So there was a lot more of us in the beginning.
Yep.
There was like almost 13 on stage at that first one,
Mental.
and then. A couple of years passed and we'd do lots of gigs where we would just literally freestyle. We'd turn up, we wouldn't rehearse, we'd just get on stage, and because like beatboxing was cool and we could get away with it, we'd just...
Did you get away with it as well?
We definitely did, because we'd do some really sick shit, but then there'd be times where it would be really messy for 4 minutes and no one really knows. Someone's lost the 1 and they can't, and someone's dropping the bass line on the 2 and there's, you know what I mean? And then we just became more organised basically. Like years passed, we got older, we all became better musicians, and some people left, we got rid of a few people, and then we, because it was just too much, this big group, and now we got down to 4.
Is that so 4 is the surviving Beatbox Collective? Damn.
Yeah.
All extremely talented, and you've all battled each other.
We've all battled each other, and then we put the show together. So that one you've seen there, we've got that show, and then we also have festival shows and stuff like that where you can't get away with doing that.
Because it's too quiet.
Because everyone's just like, I want some music.
Yeah. So just fought on the floor the whole time for those guys, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice, man. So, fucking hell, back to the battling. That was coming up. And then I'm still trying to get to the Gareth Malone crossover because there was. What happened in my eyes was like a cappella stuff when I heard it around and about prior to what seemed to be when you got involved in it, but obviously there was beatboxers in a cappella before you, right?
Yeah, the actual term would be vocal percussionists.
But it was always a little bit flim-flam. Yeah, just a little bit of something.
Yeah.
The guy would be an amazing singer, just have a few noises. Now it's like a prerequisite.
And they'd have groove, that's the thing. Like that's one thing that, honestly, some of the vocal percussionists from a cappella groups back then, a lot of them had a better groove than a lot of solo beatboxers because they had to, you know what I mean? Like
catch
when
everyone in.
Whereas again, back to if you're on with seven, no one's really thinking. Whereas if you're in that sort of a cappella group, you have to really, So those vocal percussionists had really good groove. But anyway, we did the World Champs and stuff, and then I got invited to do a show called Gobsmacked, which I mentioned earlier, and that was at the Fringe, and that was an a cappella show. So I think Gareth Malone probably heard about that because there was some. I think he likes a cappella, obviously, and he loves choirs.
So you were beatboxing for a cappella group at that point?
Yeah, so there was 7 singers and me, and I just held down the beats and the bass and all the sound effects and stuff for an hour-long show. It was a really, really good show. We toured the States with it and stuff. It was like, it was really, really fun.
You can tell how polished you are. It's unreal. And to be fair, you did a bit of singing in there, and it was like, beautiful. You held your voice so well and so nicely, and it's like you'd slot right into these, because we watched the Durham Lights a cappella group this morning, this afternoon. Obviously amazing, won championships and stuff like that, and it's like, but you could just put Ball-Zee in there and do you know what I mean? It just lift it and make it like, it's dope, and it seems to be something that all a cappella groups have these days, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, because beatbox has become a lot more popular and people are seeing what you can do with it now, and there's certain noises that you can do which, like for instance, bass, there's the sub that I do in there. It took a long time to be able to learn that and to be able to pitch it to a level where you can actually slot into a musical group or an a cappella group and use that as if you're playing the bass in key and not just an impressive low note.
And not just taking over, because sometimes it'll just soup it out and you're like, everyone's got this beautiful vocal and you can't hear anything because everything's souped with this bass.
Exactly, yeah. So doing a cappella helped me massively with that. It definitely taught me to chill a bit more, to listen to things that I might not have been listening for in the music, all that sort of stuff. And then so this Gobsmacked thing was doing well. I think Gareth Malone came to see it, actually. That might have been why.
Big.
And also the producer, he knows Gareth Malone, and I don't even know how it came about from there. I just got an email saying there's this show on was it ITV or BBC?
I think it was BBC, bro.
BBC, yeah. We want you to come and be a mentor on it, and I was obviously just like, let's go.
Smash the hell out of it as well, man. It was so great to see you there. I bet it was fun. Yeah. You said just then beatboxing's more popular. So would you say, in terms of like the popularity of it as an art form over these years, have you seen like a rise and fall of it? Was it like super popular when you got into it, or like?
For sure, yeah. So when I got into it, it was almost the new school era. So you had the time of like Kenny Mohammed, Razel. Well, you had even early before that, obviously, like the Fat Boys and Buffy and Dougie Fresh and Biz Markie.
Classic.
And that was when it was like probably booming. I wasn't obviously into it then. I was only just
born.
Probably like 5 years old.
I
wasn't. And there was, from what I understand, that's when it was really booming. It was kind of born as beatbox, this thing. And then when it got to around 2000s, I think it died out a bit.
Yeah.
And then mid-2000s, I think Killer Keller started to bring it back with a bit of the old school flavors as well as like his proper original style.
Yep.
And then around a few years after that, they started this thing of new school beatbox where people got really into like technicalities and stuff like that. And that really brought a surge back.
The standard was sort of raising massively.
Yeah, absolutely. It went from being like to people going like, maybe I can go. Do you know what I mean? Like do these really cool things, then put this sound in there. And then there was like the technical boom where everyone was just trying to go.
Yeah, and going crazy with loop pedals, because loop pedals got real popular as well.
Later on they did, like now they're super popular. Yeah. Back then it was like everyone was super keen on like being the fastest or being like the loudest and things like that. And then musicality came into it which it's always been in it, but a lot of people just got so engulfed with the technicalities of it. They'd just forget to like make people you know what I mean?
Move,
And that kind of came back into it, and that gave it another surge, because then you did have really good musicians who had practiced for 10 years on these crazy techniques, realized how important it is to do music with it, and then some of them start singing and things like that, and then they get the loop station. That makes them a better musician, which ultimately makes beatboxing better. It levels up. So, and now obviously with the social media and things like that and YouTube. So when I won Grand Beatbox Battle, there was maybe 500-600 people there, and there was a lot of beatboxers, but there was also lots of like local people from the place in Switzerland where the battle was. Now there's, I don't even know what the cap of the venue is. It's a couple of thousand, and they sell out like that online.
Mental.
Tickets are just gone.
So how popular it is.
And they have like, back when I was battling, it was pretty much solo one-on-one battles. Now there's solos, tag teams, groups, loop station battles.
Mad.
There's some dope concepts that they're doing in France at the moment where they'll have like, I don't even know what the name of it is, but they'll have a beatboxer, and then there'll be like a handful of random musicians. Like someone will play sax, someone will be like a kalimba player, someone will be like, and they just pick out of a hat who they get, and then they have to just do a round on the spot. And it's just like,
that's dope, man.
So yeah, the musicality element that's come into it over the past 10 years has definitely helped it, because otherwise it is a bit
it can be, but like it's so amazing to see that come on like that. Is there how does the beatbox community work? Because obviously there is a rap community, so to speak, and a producer community, and they kind of, do you know what I mean, share a lot of ideas or whatever sort of thing, but like, and also music exists online, so you're like, you can check out that producer's beat or guy's track or whatever, whereas beatboxing, I guess you're checking out videos and sort of stuff like that. Is TikTok helping? I guess it's like...
Well, I'm not the best one to ask about that these days. I'm terrible with social media these days, but back then it was just that, videos. There wasn't really Zoom or anything. There was none of that stuff. So yeah, it was pretty much that. You would sit in your bedroom doing beats, like trying to get better. And then when YouTube came about, you'd go on there and you'd just hear, oh, this Alan from France is doing this crazy technical thing, and then that'd inspire you a bit. And one thing that I noticed for sure is when I got invited to these international battles, especially, and the national battles like the UK champs, and you're just surrounded by like, oh, that's this guy from Brazil, I've seen him, he's got a sick noise, and this guy's got the craziest jazz drums, and oh, this guy's a dope MC and he does it beatboxing at the same time. You just come away from those events like, I'm 4 times better.
Wow,
because
really?
I'm just literally, you just hear things.
The green room in situations like that, you've all performed, now you're all chilling, that must be like a zoo.
Absolutely, man.
Just noises like...
Mate, even before the performance, so I don't know. So my last battle was 2015 or maybe 2017. So I haven't battled in a long time, but I remember vividly, and this was like almost a subconscious thing at the time. I must have just been thinking, this is dope, but I was also really focused on the battle. But what happened was I was at the UK champs, and I'm like preparing my rounds, and I've got a few things written down, and I'm like, I'm going to do this and then this and that. And then one of the guys I'm battling comes over and he's like, oh, we're battling, and I'm like, and no one meant to do it. We're just like, ah, yeah, sick man. And he's just like, what are you? And we're just there, we're about to battle. And we'll just have like a 15-minute jam together. Man, and then just be like, good luck, bro. Yeah, see you out there.
That's so sick.
So it really was like a dope community. It still is. But yeah, I can only speak for my experience of it back then. I'm sure it's still the same. But yeah, everyone just, there was no beef really. There actually wasn't. There just wasn't. Everyone was like,
just good vibes
bigging each other up.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone wanted to win. You had some people who were like super strong on stage, and they wouldn't look friendly on stage because they're battling and they'd be like doing all sorts of shit, chopping your head off and pulling your heart out.
They're like all telling you, innit? It's a similar sort of thing.
But even before the battles, everyone's jamming. It was a really sick scene to be a part of, for sure.
You say you haven't battled for 7 years. What's the reason for that, bro? Have you been, because you did it, you've done it all? You don't want to keep beating these kids to death?
Well, that's exactly what it is.
They just can't take it. It's like Jordan playing. Like, stop playing, Jordan. We're trying to enjoy a game.
I just did a lot of battles, man. I battled a lot I think the first battle I did was 2008.
Right.
And the last battle I did was 2017.
Nine solid years of battling.
Yeah. And
to prove your worth at that, which you obviously did. And you won everything. So you got to the top of the top, really, and it's like, where do you go from that? And where do you go? What is it for you? Because like, what is there to achieve now for you, really? Because you're judging and all sorts at this level, aren't you?
Well, I think we were speaking about it a bit before we started this, and like beatbox and music in general is subjective, innit? So when it's battling, there's judges, and you have to do this criteria, and you've got a minute and a half to do your rounds, and I still love it, and I actually am not saying no to ever doing one again. I might come back and battle for sure.
Yeah.
I won't say no to that, but I just enjoy it, like what you just saw there with the collective, where you can take the bass line and someone will do a dope cut over the top of it, and then you can put some wonky drums, and it's like, you can be more present in the sound that you're doing because you're not doing everything.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that. The older I get, I think, the more I enjoy being on stage with people, and like, I've got the bass and I'm looking at Hobbs and he's like, and we're just like, this is, instead of, when it is solo battling, it's very like, all right, 3, 2, 1, go, and you have to, it's a competition. It's a competition, so it's.
So you prefer the collaborative element of it. So do you reckon your sort of going forward is going to be involving yourself in this sort of thing, and do you see yourself beatboxing for the rest of your life in the same sort of scenarios, performing with groups and stuff like that? Yeah,
for sure. I have a project with my partner as well. She's a singer-songwriter called Lisa Orabasi, and we do lots of stuff together. So, and we've got a little studio at our house. Yeah, we make a lot of music.
Stuff released. Can I hear? So you can hear beatbox on a record now, yeah?
There is a few because I produce her music, and she's a really good producer as well. Yeah, and I do slip a little in the mix now and then. Like, there's a bit of beatboxing in that track.
All right, so so it's production and you're producing the beats then?
Yeah.
Rather than you're not doing it with your mouth.
You're actually just producing the beats. And,
I didn't really know you were a producer, bro.
Yeah. I got into finger drumming massively about 10 years ago, so I bought a little machine, and started doing that. And I went, like, when me and Mega met, it was at music college, so we would would just go, maybe Mega won't mind me saying this, would go and get blazed at dinner time and then slip back into the studio and just sit there and just like would rewire Cubase and Reason and just make beats. And that I was really into it then. And then when I left college, I started beatboxing a lot more, like we were saying, and production kind of fell off, and then about 10 years ago I just bought the machine and just started like really getting back into it. And now with Lisa we've got a little studio, so her EP's out, so it's not necessarily our EP. I've just produced her EP. We're going to release another EP in the next year. And then we also have lots of videos online where it is just like she'll sit there with the guitar and I'll do the beats and bass and some harmonies and things like that.
Sounds amazing.
And stuff with the collective. We're working on our first EP for the first one in fucking 12 years. It's taken us so long.
It's first one in 12 years, so there was one that existed.
No,
or is this
the first one ever, sorry,
first EP, so that's like not that many tracks, just a little sampler sort of thing.
4 or 5 tracks, I think.
Originals?
All originals,
Okay.
So we've got a couple done already. Well, 2 done, not mixed and mastered, but the concept's there, and they're dope. It's really fun.
It's considered to be quite a tough thing to get across the line as a beatbox entirely album. Now, I don't really have that much experience with them, to be fair, but there was that Razel one for definite that's often, and people felt like, despite how amazing it was, it just couldn't get it over the line in terms of like, I want to, people always listening to this track or that track, think like technically amazing.
Yep.
How have you felt about like making music like that? Have you just done it to enjoy it, or are you trying to like break boundaries musically and like?
Both, I think. Absolutely. No, it's a good question. It is because it's true. Like beatboxing has been hard to get across on a record. Like it's 100%. A fact. It's an absolute fact. We don't know how it's going to come across and how people will receive it, but we put a lot of love into it, and Zany's a dope producer, I produce, Hobbit's a really good producer, and we'll just literally record like a sound pack of Beatbox Collective noises, come up with some cool ideas, and implement them when we're composing the things, and we'll just send beats around, and we've got one. That's the point. I can't do it. It's going to be hard to do it live because we're going in to make it sound really intricate and little like layers of sounds and this, that, and the other. But I hope it's received well. But also, it's just so much fun to do it, man. It's so much fun to just.
I mean, that's part of it. I'm always looking at that. Oh, what's your branding? But truthfully, it's sick that you're just getting together and making sick music, isn't it? Like,
I think that's the first thing is we'll finish the EP and then we'll decide what we're going to do with it. But,
that'll be good. Well, you better flog them at gigs for starters. People will definitely pick them up.
And I would love to do like a tour of the UK with it as well, because I love doing this show, but we also like doing our like pure hardcore music shows. Do you know what I mean? And touring it, that's what the EP tour would be, is actual music venues, because we just did a gig in a theatre lecture hall there, right?
It's
the
not
sound system's all right.
Put your hands in the air. Like, stand up, everyone's like, I'll just move my...
I'll just move my notebook.
Exactly. So you played some sick festivals with these guys. You've done what have you done notably in the UK? Done Glastonbury.
We've done Glastonbury,
Sick. Leeds Fest?
Shambhala. Some of the guys have done Leeds. I don't think we've done it as the collective. I'm not. Rupert's the one to ask. The list goes Secret Garden, Shambhala, Glastonbury, Boomtown, Shindig.
Fuck. You've achieved all there is to achieve for a beatboxer.
Edinburgh Fringe. Yeah.
Edinburgh Fringe, word. What else is there to do? I feel like for a guy who used to make noises, and so many people did, and everyone's had a go at beatboxing at some point, but like for you, what you've actually achieved, and the fact that you're from Dublin and Huddersfield lad, is fucking absolutely unbelievable,
Nice
man.
one,
And,
mate.
like, you should be massively bigged up. World champion as many times you have been, and like just running the game and.
Nice one, bro.
It's amazing to see, bro. This EP sounds very exciting as well. When do you reckon it'll be out then? Like, we're talking...
It'll take a
months?
little while. It'll take, what we're in now, August? Yeah, middle of next year, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe a bit before that, but yeah, just... I need to get back in. We need to get back in the studio and finish it. But yeah, man. We'd also like to do some collaboration EPs after that.
Yeah.
So concepts of just making really dope instrumental beats and then just picking some of our favorite rappers, sending them the beats, and then just releasing a collab, maybe even a collab album or something.
Yeah.
Because it's dope what we do and we really enjoy it. But when we collaborate with other people, even the little kid that got up and smashed it,
murdered it.
Yeah. Again, it's just fun.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? And people respond to it so well.
Absolutely,
to see that live
yeah.
happening there. Bro,
Yeah, man.
I think we've probably covered about everything. I don't want to take too much of your chilling time up with your boys and all the rest
It's all
of it.
good, mate.
It's been an absolute joy to chill with you, bro.
Man,
Thank you so
likewise.
much for joining me, man.
Cheers, bro. Thank you
Take
for
it
having
easy,
me
man.
on. Appreciate it. Big love.
So that was Ball-Zee, 3 times beatbox champion of the world, working with the Beatbox Collective and other groups as well, just to be the sickest noise mouth maker there ever was. So if you're a WY representer, you should be very proud of the fact that he is killing it. Until next episode, big up!